G'day and welcome back to Down the Shed with Byron's VR Calais Project. Now you may have seen in part 4 that we did a few weeks ago, put the link up here, where I got it back on the road and driving again, which I was stoked about. But I felt like I went forward 3 steps and came back 4. Project cars, what do I say? And today what I'd like to get partly done, or done, is those fuel lines that are leaking, they're weeping. The exhaust leak that I've got, I'm going to double check the engine mounts that I've got that are spare, see if we can make them work, and we'll double check that window regulator after I've lubed it up. They're my main missions I'd like to achieve. I do have those dramas with the transmission line where it's kinked hard into the cooler on side of the radiator, but I have got something in the behind the scenes for that where I'd like to put a new aftermarket cooler in with some new lines. Then I've got the drama with the boot where it was leaking water, where I need to fix up some of that rust. But then to pull that window out, I've seen rust in the front. So I think I might put that one on the back burner for now. So I'll just show you the fuel lines, the fuel line that I think is weeping at the moment, which is that bad boy right there. So if I leave it for a while, it actually, you can see a little bit of fuel just under here. So what I've done, I've just brought some new fuel lines, got some new clamps, and we'll replace both those hoses straight up. Now with a little bit of lube, I used some silicone spray. The window seems to be going up all the way now. Yeah boy, so that's a massive dirty thumbs up. Before I put the door card back on, I'm actually going to upgrade the speakers. I'm going to put some splits in it and do it how it should be. While I've got the door card off as well, I'm going to try and see if you can you actually buy this plastic replacement section. I'll see if I can find something online. And what I'm also going to do is clean out the bottom of the door and then just spray that with some like rust converter sort of paint, just to keep it preserved for the future. And I've also got a bit of rust starting to build up here, so I'll wire brush that, put some rust converter on it, and we'll sort out the door before it gets any worse. Now we'll pull the fuel relay out, start it up again so we drop all the fuel pressure in those fuel lines, and we'll rip them off. So just under the fuse box here, we've got fuel pump. We'll pull that relay out, go start it up again, and then we'll let it run out of fuel. Oh, done. We'll go test it a couple of more times though. Okay. Well, I'm satisfied there's no fuel there now. We'll undo that and pull them off. Just broke a bolt for the cruise control. What was I saying? You go forward a step, come back 2. The other thing I've noticed is the accelerator cable has perished. I'm just not winning, am I? So I'm just about to cut the fuel lines, and then, you know what I realised? What they've given me? Can you see the PSI reading there? 50 PSI. It's not suitable for fuel injection. Man, what was I saying? You try and fix one thing and they go back 5 steps. Righto, looks like we need to do a run down the shop to get some fuel on. So if I'm going to do that, we might as well jack it up and pull that exhaust off and see what gaskets we need. Just before I get under the car, I thought I'd just pull this 90-degree elbow off. Broke a gasket on the way, but what is that for? I've seen a YouTube video where they pull that out and they reckon they get more power out of their car. Is it actually worth it? I don't know. Let us know. Righto. Let's change. Let's jack it up, get this exhaust off, and see what gaskets we need. Now I've just gone and sprayed a bit of WD-40 on every bolt that holds this part of the exhaust system on. Cracked them all off. Now hopefully we don't snap any bolts. Oh, that'll just make my day, won't it? And I got the wrong size socket again. Ah! Well, so far we had a bit of a win. We got the exhaust off without snapping a bolt, but that's not saying something else can't go wrong. Just climbed back under to try and see if we've got the gaskets, if they were stuck onto the extractors here. They're not there, they're completely missing. So I wonder if old mate just used some gasket goo just to try and seal them, which it's let go on this driver's side. But then I think I got more dramas than that. It's either the sump or the rear main seal's leaking. I'll give that a wipe. And then I found the transmission lines just here. I don't know if that's leaking from there and flying up or if that's leaking from there. But while we're here, it wouldn't hurt just to swap them over. Now the list is growing bigger for parts again. Got the transmission line off. I just took one off for now. And we're gonna have to run down to the shop and grab some more hose. Then I had a look at those engine mounts. So if anyone out there has replaced Commodore engine mounts on like a VR or whatever, you probably laughed at me at the start of this video and went, you're not gonna get those engine mounts done today. I just had a look at the left-hand side, so passenger side engine mount, and to get to those bolts, it's behind the air conditioning compressor. That's right. So you can get the two bottom ones under here and the other two are tucked up underneath this compressor. Oh boy. So the next drama will be is when I remove that belt now. I have a feeling that bearing is gone in the idler, but we'll find out when we release that, and we'll remove the compressor. Hopefully I don't disturb the hosing and we can just shuffle it out the way enough to get my hand up and into there to undo the two nuts on top. So the engine mounts I've got look very, very similar. So the VY Commodore I was working on a fair while ago, I brought just all the mounts and bits and pieces for it, but the engine mounts didn't require replacing. So I had them sitting on the shelf and I thought, why not throw them on this old girl? And they look very, very similar. So I'm hoping they are right. What I've found on the good old eBay and Google, they look the same and they are the same. So I'll start ripping them off now and see how we go. Before I've removed the belt, I've just done myself a little mud map, which is pretty relatively easy for the belt. Now let's try and see if you can hear that idler. So yeah, you can hear the bearings a bit. How you going? The alternator has a little bit of a grind to it as well. Water pump. Let's have a look here. Water pump's not too bad. We'll go down to the aircon compressor. Now this should be alright. Safety Grandpa replaced that a while ago. Yeah, that sounds alright. Power steering pump. That's alright as well. But we do need to continue that harmonic balancer at a later date. Man, Why did I start this job? Whoever's done this before, you must be just laughing at me, because I thought I just had to pull the air conditioning compressor forward. Yeah, well, you've got to do that. But then you've got to actually take the mount off the side of the engine. I'll show you. Have a look down in there. You see, I've moved the compressor forward. Now there's, what I can work out, there's 3 bolts holding that bracket on, because there's one retaining nut behind this bracket. So now I've got that done. I jumped over to the driver's side, and the nuts for that were finger tight. So when it was actually driving, it would have been moving the smallest amount, but still it's loose. Now I'm going to have to set up some sort of seat belt arrangement, lift the engine up, and we'll pull them out. Bugger, forgot those bolts under there. Oh boy. What a mission. Why did I start this? Hope that comes off now. What's in the way now, you reckon? Hopefully nothing. Through the top or through the bottom? Maybe. Come on. Yes, maybe, yes. Yes, maybe, yes. Woohoo! 30 thumbs up. Left hand side out. Let's try and get this driver's side one out. Yep. Will it? Nah, it's gonna have to come down to you guys. Ready? Set, catch. Thanks for catching that one. Now the real question, are they the same as VY Commodores? Close enough's good enough, don't you reckon? I hope they were alright. Bloody hell. It's like a lift kit, isn't it? They were definitely knackered, so they were due to be changed out. Now I've got to work out which side's the easiest to put back in first. From memory, when I done them on a VY back in the day, there's holes on one side and elongated on the other. I'll jump under and have a look. Nah, just, oh maybe at the back there's a little bit elongated, probably because it was loose. But they're both the same, they've both got just the holes. Yeah. Just the hole. So yeah, it's going to be one of those opportunities where hopefully I get it in the hole. I think it's time to have a drink. I'll get back into this shortly. And what are you guys working on? Have you got a current project you're working on at the moment? Let us know in the comments. I'd be interested to see how much of my audience have got a half-finished project or 2, or 5, or 6. Oh, bloody. How good's cold water? Oh. All right, last bolt done up. I'll just run over with a breaker bar and make sure they're tight. So that's that plate on the passenger side's bolted up. So I had to tighten that engine mount up inside that mount. But what I've done is I put the driver's side on loosely, so that way we've got some wriggle room to jiggle it back into place. Let it down slowly, hopefully, if I can control it. Oh, there we go. And we'll try and guide it into place. Oy, there we go, slow down. I'll just go in little stages there. Give that a wriggle. How far off are we? And I've got to try and get this air conditioning compressor to sit in there at the same time. Anyone want to come over and give us a hand? Oh boy, well, things didn't go to plan. What I thought by tightening that bolt, that plate up, didn't quite work. Unbolted that, loosened it up, tried to wriggle and jiggle and hold my tongue right. I got it. Then I couldn't get the compressor forward. Jacked it back up, undone it, moved the compressor forward. I got it in, it's done. Next step is get this compressor in, and I'll get back to you then. I need to have a break. Well, I needed that break. I got to that point yesterday where I was slightly getting frustrated with this car. And when you get frustrated, you just need to walk away and have a cup of tea. I ended up, had the big fella down here. So you may have noticed in that last shot of the video, it's a little bit wobbly. Old steady Eddie. Anyway, went down to his basketball, helped him out, coaching. I don't know anything about basketball, but you know, have a crack. The boys came back with a win, so I'm proud of that. This morning I got down here, I've tightened up all the air conditioning mounting bolts. I've got the engine mounts all tightened up. I ended up pulling off the belt tensioner. And what we'll do, we'll have a look at that part number, and I'll probably just order a new bearing and we'll knock that out. But if the price of a pulley is another 10 bucks, I'll just buy a new pulley so we slap it straight on. So hopefully I can kick a few goals today. Main ones will be getting those hoses just done. Transmission lines, get the gaskets for the exhaust that wire pipe, get the gaskets for that so we can at least bolt that back on. Then I'll look at, what was the next thing I need to look at? I need to sort out that broken bolt in the, not the throttle body, but that 90-degree bend section. So I'll weld a washer to that, weld a nut to it, and hopefully it's enough just to break that thread so we can undo it. Find the gaskets for that, put that back together. I found other little dramas on the engine. There's corrosion on top of these coil pack where the leads are, so we'll give those a clean. I'll show you that shortly. Now, being stuck under the car for the day, I'm thinking the front crankshaft seal is our main problem for the oil leak, spraying back across the sump. So when we do that harmonic balancer, and I'll do the front crankshaft seal at the same time, I just got to source the parts for that next. Righto, I'll show you what I was talking about. Now, while I was here, I accidentally snapped the wire for the air conditioning, so I'll put a new crimp on that or a plug. But then, because I had to pull the leads off, you can see a bit of corrosion around them. So this would probably answer why they have been, it's not playing up, but every now and then it has that little fluff or a little fart every now and then, like it's misfiring. So it might be worth, let's have a look here. What's that one? Oh, that's clean. So it's just that one there, really. And number 6. So I'm thinking we need to give those a bit of a wire brush, clean up, see if we can clean inside there somehow. Put some, and what I'll do, I'll pull these all off and we'll give them a bit of a coat and electrical grease, a bit of silicone spray, and that'll fix up that. Or I'll see how much a set of leads are and plugs, and we'll give it a bit of an, it's probably due for a service, a set of spark plugs. So we'll grab those as well while we're down the shop. Woo boy. Well, I am back. Box full of parts, hose, gasket paper. So I went down and see me mate Troy. Thanks, mate. We got a new pulley because it was at the Byron price. It was about $4 dearer. We got a set of spark plugs. Unfortunately, they didn't have leads there. Some hose clamps, hose. Now I just brought what was left, which was roughly 3 and a bit meters. So we've got plenty. Exhaust gasket, intake gaskets, which I'm going to have to reuse or make. The rest of that's rubbish. But I couldn't get the 3-bolt flange gaskets from anywhere. And the only person to help us out was TK Exhaust Systems, Tim and Kelly. Thanks heaps, mate, and Kelmscott there. So if anyone needs exhaust sorting out, he gave us that piece there. Bloody legend. Thanks, mate. Dirty thumbs up. Now I just got to make a gasket for that and then put that on and... Right, let's get into it. The exhaust gasket paper, I've just traced out that flange onto that. You can also put grease on the flange and then stick it on, and it gives you a template as well. So if you ever need to make gaskets, that's another way of doing it. I haven't got a wad punch kit, so hopefully I can get those bolt holes either drilled or somehow cut them out, because this paper is It's got that metal sheave in the middle, so I'm hoping my Stanley knife and bits and pieces get through it. And with the power of YouTube, I've got a couple of gaskets made up. I will put a little bit of insurance on those things, and they fit okay. Well, better than what was going to go on there anyway. Righto, I've jumped under, I've sorted out those transmission lines. They're replaced now, but I found the transmission lines that run along the side of the engine. There's no clamp there, so I'm going to have a look on one of my scrap cars and see if there's something there and I can borrow that. Now we'll fit that exhaust back up into place. Let's have a moment to reflect why we choose to work on our cars in the driveway. Well, at least I've got concrete. I feel for you guys out there working on a bit of dirt. Now, we got the wipe light on, but I stuffed up. Let's have a look here. Now, I reckon I've done an awesome job with these gaskets. They are going to seal. And then I've got the wipe pipe at the back. And next minute, I can't get to those bolts. Why did I do this to myself? Alright, so what I'll try and do is we'll take that cross member off for the transmission, and hopefully I can get an Allen key in there and undo those bolts to replace that rear transmission mount. Now, you're not going to believe it, I was able to crack these. I put a bit of pipe on the end of my Allen key. I was able to get it out. Woo! Got to have a win every now and then, eh? Hopefully. Now, the next part's going to be, now the mount's not too bad, it's just I just wanted to put the new one on there that we've already got, so we can put this in a spares box for another day, for something else maybe, or in the bin. I've got to stop collecting stuff, eh? Who else does that? You know, you replace something just because you've got it. I'll just keep the old one just in case, and then it sits there for the next how many years, and then you do a big clean up and you're like, oh, I don't need that. Then you throw it out, and then you need it. Happens all the time to me. Righto, dirty thumbs up. Finally got a job that sort of went to plan. Kind of. Righto, let's get back under that bonnet. I thought I'd just start on the spark plugs on this side. I've got these three in, they're all done. And first time ever, I'm using a torque wrench to torque them up. I thought I've got it, whilst we'll do it. There we go. That's an easy win. I feel better now. Let's put that tensioner on, or the pulley for the tensioner, and it's another easy win. Yeah, boy, we are just kicking goals, hopefully. Nothing snaps or breaks now. Now these are left-hand thread. I'll just put a touch of Loctite on there. I said left-hand thread and I'm going the wrong way to start off with. There we go. Job done. Belt back on. Tensioner on, belts on, spark plugs are done. Fuel lines are back on, but not tight yet, because I want to work out the orientation once we've got the throttle body and that 90-degree pipe back on. The leads, I definitely need to order a set on Monday. Number one's not happy. A couple of other ones, they're just not holding on tight enough. And I think I had one, yeah, number one still, it perished. So it's not going to hurt to throw a set of leads at it. Now I have a question for the spark plug gurus out there. Now I don't know how to read them 100%, but I've labelled them. Can you help me out? Number one looks okay. Number three, not bad. 5 okay. 6 okay. 4-ish okay. But have a look at number 2. What would you say is wrong there? Now, could that have something to do with maybe the leads? So it's not firing? Is that our fart? Is there something wrong in that cylinder? All right, let me know in the comments, champions. All right, tonight I'm going to get onto that 90-degree bend, and we'll get that broken bolt out. Then I'll start putting that back together. But last night didn't happen. All I done last night's come down, put my tools away, tried to tidy up a little bit, and I've set up that 90-degree bend. I found a washer to fit over the top of the stud now, and a couple of other washers and nuts that we can probably weld to it. And I'll show you what I'm doing. So I've grinded the top of the bolt off, like just so it's clean. I've got a washer that will fit over the top like that, and we'll weld that to that. Then I'll weld another washer just on top, and then we'll weld a nut. I reckon that'll be enough heat to crack that thread in there, and might see if I can give it a little bit of a spray with WD-40 just to quench it, and then that should, in theory, hopefully undo and come out. Yeah, boy. Sweet. Just like that. We've got that broken bolt out. Just clean everything up. Ta-da! I ended up getting a little bit carried away, and I've fitted the 90-degree pipe, the throttle body, so that's all back together now. I went over and had a look at the Statesman that my mate James gave us, and it had some relatively new leads on it. So I've just put them on for now, so at least we can get it running, because it is Sunday here. Now, before I go too much further, I ended up soaking the throttle cable bracket and the cruise control bracket. I'll put a photo up of before of what they look like, and I used maybe 2 litres of hot water, and then I used some citric acid that you can just buy from the local shopping centre. I left them in, so they've only been in overnight for maybe 10 hours, 12 hours. I gave them a clean up with the old kitchen Scotch-Brite, the old one. And I think with a little bit more soaking, they would come up absolutely mint. Now I got that little trick off of my mate Graham from XA Coupe Guy, and I've seen it in the works with our mate Paul from Old School Only. And when he did all those Tirana parts and brought them back up to, from the rusty looking thing back to something like that, which was absolutely awesome. I thought, man, I'm gonna have to give that a go. And what's cool about it is we've still got enough water left over, so I've started soaking some of the old parts for the old Holden we've got in the shed. Righto, let's put that fuel pump relay back in. I've tightened up all the hoses, and let's make sure we haven't got any leaks. Relay in. Now I did end up putting the battery charger on the battery and just giving it a full charge again, because it has been sitting around for a while. All right. Righto, here we go. We need the fuel pump priming up. Can you guys see any leaks? Right, let's have a look. Thanks for checking that out too. Oh, get out of it. March flies. Nothing there, which is good. All right, I reckon we're safe to start. Awesome. We've got the 3 jobs I started off by fixing, plus more. And then I just put the intake pipe on just for now, and then remembered I need to fix that wire for the aircon compressor. But I'll sort that out later. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Man, it was only meant to take me about a day to fix this up. I think it's taken me 4. What did I say? 3 steps forward, 4 steps back. Yeah, anyway. All right, well, and I've just found out we've hit 10,000 subscribers. So, bloody awesome. Cheers to you guys. Thanks for helping me out. I don't know what it does, but yeah, sick. And if you'd like to support my channel, I have got a merch page where we're selling better condition t-shirts than these ones. But if you do want one that's used, let me know. Yeah, jump on the merch page, help a brother out, because yeah, I need to keep these projects going forward. Now, the next couple of episodes I've got to release is, well, I made them a few months ago. I go out bush, catch up with DJ. He sorts us out with a possible driveline for any one of my vehicles. Or I also go out and pick up another driveline that could be possibly for another vehicle. All right, take it easy, and I'll see you when I'm looking at you.